Hey guys, Jacob Hall with the Iowa Standard. I'm joined today with State Representative Jeff Shipley. We're going to start a new feature here at the Iowa Standard that allows you to get to know your state legislators a little bit better than what you may already know them. Representative Shipley, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the district you serve.
Well, thank you, Jacob. It's great to be here today. I serve Iowa House District 82, which covers most of Jefferson County, and then Davis and Van Buren County, bordering Missouri.
Tell us why you got involved in politics.
So I first was a conservative activist at the University of Iowa. I went to school at University of Iowa from 2006 to 2010, and at that time I was really just upset about the loss of freedom. At that time, there was a much bigger debate in this country about freedom versus security, the Patriot Act and domestic spying and collection of electronic records. And as a young person, realizing that privacy as we know it was vanishing, that's what motivated me to get involved.
So the three most important issues to you are?
So that's a great question because I have to remember this every day when I come to work here. Why am I in this building? The number one issue that I've really stuck my neck out the furthest on is education. There's a lot of conservatives who talk about education, but then there's conservatives like me who actually vote against education budgets and vote against new dollars for education. There's a lot of really good reasons to vote against education dollars. What I'm honing in on is how the school nutrition laws at the state and federal level has really created this mess of bureaucracy that's harming our children and frankly just not getting them the nutrition they need to be successful. So one solution I want to have is get more high protein, high fat breakfasts. A lot of kids don't want to be in school. I think if they had a nice plate of bacon waiting for them, I think that might help students succeed. And also just with all the anxiety we're seeing, I think that's the first step is making sure we're nourishing ourselves because there definitely is a connection between nutrition and behavioral, psychiatric, mental health. So yeah, very involved on the school funding debate. And of course, voting against that education money is seen as kind of a cardinal sin. So we'll see how that plays out in the election. And then the second issue I'm really interested in has been this concept of medical freedom. Basically, I want to make sure that parents are in the driver's seat when it comes to their children's health, in their health in particular, that it is parents making the decisions for their children and not some government bureaucrat or some other legislator or government person. That we need parents have the power and we want to keep it that way. And then the third issue, as I've kind of touched on, is just the larger mental health issues we have. A lot of problems with anxiety, depression, suicide. I've definitely experienced that in our district. And I think a lot of the times we're not even asking the right questions. And it really goes to creating this culture of life where every single individual knows that they're created in the image and likeness of God, that their life has a higher purpose, and that there's a reason to be alive. So it's very frustrating just in the way we talk about these issues that I think we're getting a lot of the mental health conversations wrong because we're asking the wrong questions, and also because I think the laws need to change. So one issue I've had a lot of fun with was basically, again, with the medical freedom is opening up other substances that could be used to treat mental health. For instance, the FDA has fast-tracked clinical trials for a substance called psilocybin for chronic untreatable depression. And then also, I forgot the name of it now. Well, basically, we could be doing a lot more in terms of making sure that people have the tools they need to treat their mental health. And we can solve this problem and probably do it a lot cheaper than the present methods too. So I get very frustrated when I see that the only solution legislators have is to spend more money, to tax more money. When I look at all the laws and the bureaucracy, we're really just in our own way. And so we got to get the government out of the way to let people heal themselves and trust individuals that they can make the best decisions for themselves.
Representative Shipley's second year here at the State House as representative. What's been the most surprising thing to you as a legislator?
I think the most surprising thing is just how immense government is and just all these things in Iowa code. Like every time a new bill comes up or I start reading Iowa code, I'm always surprised like what's in there and just how we've really allowed the government to get to every single aspect of our life in a lot of ways, in ways that are very negative. So I'm always just dropping my jaw at wow, how the laws got to be this way. And then just frankly, and I hate to say, but how few people are paying attention. I think that's probably the biggest thing we need is more engagement, certainly from conservatives who are, one, paying attention and actively involved, doing the reach out to making sure their legislators know who they are, know what the issues are, showing up on the forums on the weekend. And because that's basically the thing was a big surprise is basically how little people are paying attention to these things that really do have a tremendous impact in people's lives.
What about the most rewarding thing being a state legislator?
The most rewarding thing has been, I guess, really just all the opportunities you get for connecting with people. So probably one of the most rewarding things I've done is get into the high school classes and teach to the juniors and seniors in the civics and government classes. Not all school districts let me do that. So when I do get an invitation from a teacher, it's even that more rewarding. And then, of course, some of these young students are very bright and very intelligent, but they do need to be challenged a little bit more. And we just need to be a lot more thoughtful in how we address issues of government, political philosophy. A lot of things are not being taught in the public schools. So when I connect with a young person and I can see their eyes light up when they start understanding what government is and how important it is for them to be involved, that's been very rewarding.
When legislative session's not going on, what's your favorite thing to do?
Oh, geez. Well, I really enjoy riding the bicycle around rural Iowa. I was able to participate in RAGBRAI this last year. That's always a lot of fun. Getting out into a lot of these small towns that are just a speck on the map. They're able to show their best and brightest to visitors. So I really love anything in the outdoors, hiking the trails, want to spend more time hunting. I really enjoy making food. I really enjoy practicing my culinary skills and being in the kitchen. And then also just the arts and culture community in Fairfield. And sometimes when I'm up to it, I'll get on stage and tell a few jokes. And that's always a lot of fun too.
Best thing about your district and the folks back home?
Well, there's so many wonderful things about District 82. Probably what makes my district unique is in the city of Fairfield, there is a lot of diversity. And so there are a lot of people that are very open-minded, very forward-thinking. They tend to lean a little bit left. And so it's a lot of fun for me to get in there and interact with these folks and show how conservative solutions are oftentimes a lot more effective and appropriate than what they might have thought. And so, yeah, it's a great balance of a lot of forward-thinking, open-minded, maybe a little bit more progressive people, but then also, you know, in the rural Iowa where you have a lot of good Christian conservative folks who really value the traditions, really understand the importance of having a society centered around God and centered around, humility and virtues and a higher power. So, yeah, I think I get the best of both worlds of people who are willing to think outside the box and people who really respect and honor the traditions that have made Iowa and America such a great place to live.
Representative Shipley, thank you for joining us today, for being the guinea pig, so to speak, here for the news segment. I really appreciate it, and thanks for serving our state and everything you do.
Appreciate all you do as well, Jacob. Your news and your website is extremely important to all of Iowa.
Thank you.